So it was in the 1970s when they tore it down. They tore down this house, and I know you can't see it, but maybe before you leave you can. They found this cabin inside. For some reason, in about like 1910 or in the early 1900s, Fred decided it probably wasn't cool to live in a log cabin anymore. So he built a frame house, right? And he built it around this cabin. Now, I have no idea, but I'm kind of guessing that maybe this little part over here was the cabin, and then he built this big two-story part next to it. Well, in the 70s, it started to get kind of run down, and so they started tearing it down. And when they tore it down, they took all the siding off. They discovered this cabin was there inside it. So he said they dismantled it. What does that mean? To dismantle. Yes.
Break it down.
Right. They took it apart. They broke it down, hauled it down here to Forest Park, where they reconstructed it. And what does that mean if they reconstruct it? Mm-hmm. They rebuilt it, right. Now, if you look around, you can see some things that don't look like they probably are like 200 years old or 150 years old, right? Some parts of the cabin, not furniture and not things like that, but just actual structural parts of the cabin. What parts of the cabin can you see that obviously aren't 150 years old or so? Yes?
Maybe that beams.
The beams up here, right. They are obviously newer, aren't they? Right.
To help keep it up.
Yeah, and they probably had to be replaced. Yes.
Like the door hinges.
The door hinges and the doors. Now the hinges may be like replicas. In other words, that's maybe the way they looked, but yeah, they're not 100 years old. Yes.
The floor.
The floor, now that probably is new, but it's older than some of the other parts, right? Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Like the wood.
Now the logs themselves are original. They are from the original cabin. Okay, and I always, when I'm looking around, I always think I should find like, numbers on them so they knew how to put them back together, like 1 goes over 2 and so forth like that. But no, the logs are originals. Mm-hmm.
Is the thing with the blade on it? I meant the window. Is that?
The windows are probably not original. Oftentimes on the prairie, they didn't have glass. Okay? And so they would maybe cover the window, they'd have window openings, and in the summer they would just leave them open for the mosquitoes and the bugs and whatever, birds and whatever to come in. In the wintertime though, they would want to keep out that cold air and that cold wind. And so they sometimes would cover them with paper. And they discovered that if you took paper and you rubbed like grease on it, it would become translucent. Not transparent like glass is, but translucent. Does anybody know what translucent means? Okay, translucent means that light would come through. So it wouldn't be quite so dark in here. So they could have light from outside. Now you couldn't look out and see if there was bear in your front yard, but you could get light in, which would help. So the windows, yes, are probably not original.